Okay, so we need to start our fourth video for the review for exam number 2. So let's put the heading on there. Exam 2 review. This is D. This is Mat 105. We need to do problem number 12. That's what we're up to in the review. Okay, what it says is almost for sure is going to tell you. It's going to tell you to solve. Here's what it looks like. U squared plus 11u plus 28 close parentheses, open parentheses, 3u minus 21 close parentheses equals 0. That's crucial. That equals 0 is the enabler. It helps it lets us put a t here and separate them into two pieces, each one being equal 0 in their own right. We can therefore set up u squared plus 11u equals 0 on the left and set up 3u minus 21 equals 0 on the right. Let's concentrate on the left. This is a trinomial. It's a quadratic equation trinomial with an equal 0. It's all ready to either be factored or use the quadratic formula. So let's try factoring. We're going to scrap paper, and we're going to take the last number, the constant at the end on the third of the third term here, and then the middle coefficient, which is 11. We're looking for two numbers, A and B. You multiply them, you get 28. You add them, you get 11. Those two numbers are, the magic numbers are 7 and 4. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 plus 4 is 11. So there's our magic numbers. Okay, coming back over here and taking advantage of that and actually breaking it up into two trinomials. That's what that does for us. U plus 7 and u plus 4, but equals 0. Crucial. Equals 0. That means we can set it up into another t and set the left to equal 0 and the right to equal 0. And we're almost at a solution here. U plus 7 is equal to 0. U plus 4 is equal to 0. Subtract is add negative 7 to both sides. At negative 7 to both sides, you get u is equal to negative 7. Here's our fourth solution. Add negative 4 to both sides so we can get down to u. Then we get down to u, we get u is equals to negative 4. Well, over here I actually did the work. On the other one I just did it a little faster. But anyway, here's our second solution. U is equal to negative 4. And now we just have to solve this, which is much easier. It's not quadratic. So plus 21 on the left, plus 21 on the right. This is gone. 3u is equal to 21. Divide by 3 on left, divide by 3 on right. This is gone. U is equal to 7. And here is our third solution. And there we are. Separate them by commas and feed it to Alex. And problem number 12 is done with the three solutions right there. Negative 7, negative 4, and positive 7. Okay, let's go to another piece of paper for the purposes of doing the next problem 13 with a clean piece of paper. So I answer no to this, and I go to another piece of paper. Here we go. Okay, so now this problem is problem number 13. Oh, here we go. Problem number 13. Fine. So what does it say? It says solve the inequality. It might tell you inequality. It probably will. It'll probably admit to you that it's an inequality. Here's what it looks like, but you'll be able to recognize right away it's an inequality. Because what does it say? Y plus 1/6 greater or equal to negative 4/5. Right? That's the problem. That's it. All right, that means, and we have to solve it. That means we've got to get y isolated, hopefully on the left-hand side. Remember, the only thing about difference between equations and inequalities, we said it over and over again, is that if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you flip the sign. If you don't multiply and divide by a negative number, leave the sign alone. Okay, but this is fractions. So we're going to need scrap paper, but hold on. Our first move, we want to isolate y, right? So that's what we want to do. Minus 1/6 on the left. Whatever you do to the left, it's just like equations, you do on the right. What will that do? These will cancel. That's exactly what we need. Y will be isolated on the left-hand side. The sign does not get flipped. We added a negative number to both sides, but we did not multiply or divide by a negative number, so we don't flip the sign. Sign stays the same way it was before. But now we've got a fraction headache. We have to add -4/5 and -1/6 together. We got to combine those two together. So we need common denominator, fractions. We have to go to that old story. Common denominator. What's the common denominator of 5 and 6? The answer is the LCD, the lowest one, is 30. You actually have to multiply 5 times 6 to get 30. You can't get any number that's lower that 5 and 6 will go into. 30 is the smallest number. All right, so if I'm changing fifths into 30ths, how do I get from 5 to 30? Times 6. So -4 has to also be multiplied by times 6, and we get -24. How do I get from 6 to 30? Times 5. So we also have to multiply the top. 1 times 5 is 5, but don't forget that negative. So put that negative in there right away. It's -1 times 5, which is -5. -1 times 5, which is -5. Combine these two together. -24 and -5, you get -29/30. And we did the work over here. We combined -4/5 and -1/6. What do we get after all our work on scrap paper? -29/30. There's nothing to reduce. There's nothing else to say. The answer is y is greater or equal to -29/30. Now, what they're going to want, they should be, hopefully they will be happy with that. If they want interval notation, then you would have to say, since it says equal sign, you would go, there would be a bracket, and then you would have -29/30, comma, and it would go anything greater than that, anything greater or equal, so it would go up to infinity, of course. Anything greater than that with a parentheses next to the infinity, if they wanted interval notation. And if they wanted the number line, then you would put a -29/30 somewhere back here, -29/30, and you'd have a bracket next to it, because it's included -29/30, and you'd have an arrow pointing towards infinity, positive infinity, that way, everything that's greater. Okay, that is number 13. Let's go to 14, which is an easy problem, I think you'll agree. All it is plotting 1 point, that's all they ask us to do. So let's go check out on another fresh piece of paper, number 14. 14, here we go. There's a fresh piece of paper. Here's what 14 looks like. Number 14, upper right-hand corner. They're gonna have a much nicer graph as usual than me. Here's my y-axis and x-axis, and what it'll say is plot the point -2, -1. So it's pretty straightforward. You start at the origin. You go back 1, 2, 1, 2. That's on the x-axis. You go back 2. Go down 1. Go down 1. And here's the point: -2, -1. That's all there is to it. What will it look like on Alex? On Alex, there's a pencil icon, whatever it looks like. I can't draw a pencil, but you would click on the pencil icon. Click on pencil icon on Alex. Okay, that's an L. Click on the pencil icon, and then click on the point. Then you bring the pencil over to the point. You bring it over to the point, and then click. Just click, bring the pencil over, and then click on the point that you want to be plotted. Right? That would be step 1, step 2, and that's how you would deal with Alex in this particular case. Okay, so I'm going to stop this video maybe a little bit early, and that is all those 14 are completely accessible to stuff that we've already done as of November 1st. So let's stop this video. Here we go.